All Creatures Great and Small is soon set to air on viewers' screens as Season 3 finally drops on Channel 5 in September. Fans are eagerly awaiting to see the wedding of James Herriot, played by Nicholas Ralph, and Helen, Rachel Shenton, after the pair got engaged at the end of Series 2, following a long time coming. Nicholas has since opened up about the heartwarming scenes between James and Richard, Tony Pitts, when he asked for permission to marry Helen. During the heartfelt scene between the two, James had been working up the courage to tell Richard he wanted to marry Helen. The pair had had a roller coaster friendship, with Helen almost marrying another man, but they soon found their way to one another. Once James had asked, Richard turned to the vet and offered up his late wife's wedding ring to give to his daughter. James actor Nicholas recently opened up about the scene between the pair, speaking on the Masterpiece podcast. Speaking about the fact that Richard already knew that James was going to ask, Nicholas explained, "I think there is perhaps a lot more riding on it for James in his head. I think he would probably get more wound up about it, and overthinking it. I think Richard Alderson appreciates the man that James is and where he is coming from and things like that, but I think for that conversation I can imagine James being in his head and having sleepless nights before it, really winding himself up. And for him, everything would be on the line, but of course, we see that lovely scene between the pair of them and he knows the kind of man James is." Touching on the moment Richard offers the ring to James, Nicholas revealed, "It just means everything, really. Because there is being accepted by the Father and your intentions and everything like that, and that is just something else, that is the cherry on the cake. It's quite an emotional moment for James and something he never expected, of course, but what a sentiment and signifier of the respect that they hold for one another as well. I think James can appreciate that more, and it is perfect for Helen as well." Helen actress Rachel Shenton has also previously opened up about the tough start to the relationship the pair encountered. Speaking at the BFI and Radio Times Television Festival, she explained, "To back out of a wedding when it is so close to happening is such a brave thing to do, but certainly in 1937. He was a really eligible bachelor. It would have made complete sense for her to marry Hugh Helton, Matthew Lewis, and it would have made things easier for her family. But she has good principle and sort of doing what's right and not easy, and I think the way that she moved forward and became tentative towards James, and they didn't rush things, is really indicative towards these people and their care they have for each other." Season 3 is set to throw some major trouble at the residents of Skelldale House, as another world war looms over their heads. Siegfried Farnan, Samuel West, and Mrs. Hall, Anna Madley, have already experienced life through one war. However, James, Helen and Tristan Farnan, Callum Woodhouse, will have to adjust. Touching on what fans can expect, executive producer Melissa Gallant revealed, "We are following year on year at the moment, so it is set in 1939, which is obviously the year the war breaks out. It is a really interesting opportunity to look at our characters with war looming and explore and push them to see what they do." Siegfried and Mrs. Hall have lived through the war. Siegfried served in the Royal Army, so they have their stories, and then you have the other characters who don't know what that means yet and trying to find their place in that world of living under threat. All Creatures Great and Small returns to Channel 5 in September.